Good almost afternoon. We're on the edge there. I am the Reverend Christopher Solomini, and I appreciate this opportunity to share with you my statement regarding Michelle Troconis. I've served as the senior minister of Avon Congregational Church for over 5 years, since 2019, when Michelle and her family literally knocked on the door. The members of our church have been their sanctuary and their spiritual faith family. My years of study at Yale University with a Master of Divinity have been augmented by clinical pastoral education. This is a rigorous process of chaplaincy along with personal psychological studies and backgrounds. Prior to ordination in the United Church of Christ, I served on the governing board of the Haddam-Killingworth Youth and Family Services. While working at Regional School District 17 and years before that in Florida, I served as a guardian ad litem, providing my assessments to the court from interviews with families, doctors, psychologists, and children in order to recommend custody placement for the Department of Children and Families. Seeking spiritual support and faith-filled fellowship, even though English was not her first language, Michelle participated regularly in both worship services and activities of mission and fellowship. When her parents and sisters visited Connecticut, they too participated. I wish the world could know the Michelle I know, one not defined in media bites, scribal gloss, and an agenda-driven caricature. Almost immediately, Michelle volunteered on a weekly basis to help with some ministry, regularly cooking large meals for a Hartford soup kitchen, preparing for our monthly Farmington Valley First Friday dinners, even helping convert and paint an old space at our church for a new ministry. Michelle's disposition is exceptional as a helper, and one who cheerfully and tirelessly worked beside church members, young and old. Over the course of months, with her involvement with mission work, attending Bible studies, and helping in any way she could, Michelle became a beloved and important member of our faith family. She often shared stories of how, in her youth, she assisted her father, a physician, in third world locales in South America, where he performed heart surgery on infants. Michelle also spoke of helping feed the homeless and destitute in Caracas. Her heart is big for all of God's created, especially for children and those afflicted with disability. Empathy and compassion are at the center of her being, in my estimation. She often attended my weekly coffee with the pastor at a local coffee shop. Any number of church members, depending on their schedules, could pop in and out. I watched carefully as Michelle tenderly cared for aging members facing scary health diagnoses. I watched her grieve with and hold close church members whose beloved family died. Michelle was always especially affirming and loving to young children and genuinely affectionate to all. The relationship between a pastor and a parishioner in crisis is a sacred one, with authenticity and truth-telling the hallmarks of trust building. In the inner sanctum of my pastoral visits with Michelle, I've heard everything she feels and thinks, her feelings about all involved, her deep sorrow and grief. I've heard her prayers for Jennifer and her children, and all her anxieties related to this harrowing ordeal. I watched her react with grace despite the constant media attacks from a public who doesn't know her. I have dined often with Michelle and her family, listening to life stories, learning about their Venezuelan culture, witnessing their lament, grief, and abject despair over this tragedy that devastated all their lives. A second career pastor who considers myself nobody's fool, I was pastoral yet didn't trust blindly. In fact, I had nothing to gain and perhaps on many levels much to lose by offering any pastoral counseling to Michelle or opening the doors of my church to her. Yet today I can honestly say before God and indeed the world, Michelle Troconis is a woman of not only substantive character, but with an ethic and kind-heartedness that is almost singular. Michelle always spoke with compassionate candor, dissolving often tearfully with empathy for the Dulos children and Mrs. Farber's loss and suffering. She never played a sympathy card, even though she herself was seemingly losing her own life with the ability to live with her daughter. She never asked for favors or for any financial assistance from the church or from church members, and to my knowledge, she never received any. My life is dedicated to ministering, burying, marrying, teaching, and holding the hands of many as they pass from this world, the real stuff of the world. I'm rooted in God's world and believe in justice that offers the greatest good. I myself and so many in my congregation have and will continue to pray for Jennifer's children, her mother, her sister, and all her family and friends who have been robbed of a future with Jennifer. I also pray the court, seeking God's guidance, will show mercy in today's sentence to mitigate the immense suffering already endured by this tragedy, and see it fit and right in the name of the highest justice and for the good of society, to restore Michelle to her daughter and to a productive place in our world community as soon as it is possible. I don't say this lightly, and with the full knowledge of all the circumstances at hand. I believe wholeheartedly Michelle to be a person of extraordinary good character and a faith-filled person I would trust with my very own life. Thank you for your service to our community, and may God bless you.
Thank you.
I'm going to call on Dr. Carlos Troconis to speak next, please.
Your Honor, Judge Kevin Randolph. I am Carlos Troconis, an American-trained pediatric cardiac surgeon, mostly dedicated to altruistic medicine, particularly on underprivileged children with heart disease. With my efforts and the Heart to Heart Foundation, thousands of children's lives has been saved. I am here on behalf of my daughter, Michelle, who, although born in Memphis, Tennessee, grew up in Venezuela, where English is not our first language. And from now on, I will try to do my best. I am a proud father of 4 daughters and grandfather of 8 American grandchildren. From a young age, Michelle joined me on medical mission to indigent, neglected indigenous areas like the Amazon. She displayed great empathy and compassion with any patient while they heal. I come from a family of 7 siblings. My oldest sister, Laura, was born with an intellectual disability and was educated in a special needs school, co-founded by my father, pioneering special education in Venezuela back in the 60s. Michelle was very close to her aunt, Laura, and this bond, and along with the practice on the medical missions, inspired her to study special education. Michelle also developed a passion for outdoor life and animals, particularly horses. This led her to specialize in equine therapy, assisting children and adults with special needs. Despite the divorce between her mother, Maricela, and me, my daughter's life has remained unaffected by our separation. We handle it with mutual respect and understanding, ensuring that our daughter's upbringing was stable and loving. Michelle's ability to maintain positive relationship and her resilience through personal challenges were shaped by the way her mother and I managed our divorce. The amicable handling of our divorce provided Michelle with a strong foundation and the understanding that even in difficult times, maintaining respect and cooperation is crucial. In 2006, Michelle became a mother. Since then, she has devoted her life to supporting her daughter's dream of becoming an Olympic champion. Through dedication, hard work, discipline, perseverance, and love, my granddaughters achieved her dream, ranking in the top 10 for the United States team at the Winter Youth Olympic Games 2024 in South Korea. Even though Michelle was on trial, her steady support was crucial to her daughter's success. Regardless of the separation from her daughter's father, Michelle ensured that her daughter's lives remained stable and loving too. Drained from her own experience with our respectful handling of our divorce, Michelle maintained a nurturing and supportive environment for her daughter. This separation did not affect her upbringing, neither. And both parents continued to prioritize her well-being, focusing on her education and family values. Our family has faced painful difficulties. Michelle's confinement has been overwhelming, especially for her teenager daughter, who needs her mother's guidance and support. These past 5 years has been the hardest of my life. I have left behind everything I love, including my patients, to focus on the legal process and support of my daughter through this heartbreaking process, coping with difficult challenges. My heart goes to the Dulos children who lost both of their parents. As a father, plead with you, Josh Randolph, to show mercy in my daughter's sentence. Given the chance, she could continue to be a valuable member of society, providing care and restorative therapies to children and adults. I hope that these examples of Michelle's compassionate character I have shared will consider in your decision. Respectful, Dr. Carlos Troconis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to call on Michelle's mom right now, Maricela Arias, to speak, please.
Your Honor, Judge Randolph, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Maricela Arriaza, and I am Michelle's mother. I come before you today with a heavy heart filled with deep sadness and much emotion, not only as a mother, but as a clinical psychologist who completed a master's degree in Memphis, Tennessee. Michi, a nickname Michelle's family and close friends call her, she was a twin. Her twin brother sadly died as a baby. Losing a baby, a child, is devastating pain that leaves a hollow mark. You might imagine the extra love and special care her father and I poured upon her. Michi and all our daughters were raised to be respectful and to be hard workers. We knew coming from another country was important. These traits were, and all our girls have made us very proud. Raised also with a strong faith, They are known in their communities for their sweetness and caring love for all. Michelle has been my companion and has always been by my side when I needed her. For example, when I separated from her father at 35 years of age, Michi, then a teenager, saw the additional burden I had to handle and support me in any way she could. She did this by helping with her sister's homework and after-school activities, while I continued to work long hours at the clinic to support them. My goal has always been to instill a solid balance of both a diligent work ethic along with family values into all my daughters. And I believe her father and I succeeded in this goal. Motherhood is Michi's everything. This is evident in how she raised her daughter, instilling in her our family values and a love for one another that she learned from her childhood. My granddaughter, now a responsible teenager, an excellent student, is a testament of Michelle's dedication and constant care over these 17 years. For these reasons, the circumstances we all find ourselves in today are very difficult. When Michelle met Fotis Doulos, he presented himself to all of us as a family-oriented man going through an amicable divorce. He convinced all of us of his good intentions, knowing how a friendly separation can be, as witnessed by me and her father. Michelle believed Fotis and had no reason to doubt him. However, we were all deceived by Fotis. At this trial, revealed a man vastly different from whom we thought we had met. Had I known the danger Michi was in, I would have immediately removed my daughter and granddaughter from his presence when I arrived in Connecticut on May 30th, 2019. My heart breaks for the Doulos children and all who suffer from this loss. My thoughts and prayers are with them every single day. Your Honor, today I stand before you, enduring the hardship of misplaced trust in a man who betrayed many. This story sadly ended in ways that left us broken and devastated. I am here to plead for your understanding and mercy for my daughter Michelle, who would never, never knowingly put her child or anyone at risk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to call on Eleanor Howard, please, to come forward. Oh, Sandra Little, I'm sorry. Right here.
Good afternoon, Judge Randolph.
Good afternoon.
I thank the court for hearing me as I speak in support of my friend Michelle. My name is Sandra Lytle, and I've known Michelle for 4.5 years. I first met her in the worst chapter of her life had begun. She had moved out of the home where she was living and moved into a temporary situation within walking distance of our church. She immediately began to pitch in various volunteer situations. She became a regular at cooking once a month as we prepared a meal to serve 120 people in a Hartford shelter. She also became a regular at cooking once a month for our community dinner. I now manage the church's thrift shop. 3 years ago, it was just simply an idea, and Michelle showed up and cleaned and painted the space for the shop. She attended regular Sunday morning worship services, and whenever her family was in town, they would accompany her and participate in whatever activity Michelle was involved in. Over the following weeks, months, and years, I got to know Michelle. I observed her as she met fellow parishioners, some who have various needs. Each and every time, she would work on a way to offer help and support. I witnessed her on several occasions when she could draw on her past experiences or on her deep faith to offer hope and encouragement to others. She is a trusting, intelligent, kind-hearted woman, full of compassion and generous with both her time and talents. Michelle is a positive contributor to her community, and above all, she is a loving mother who is trying to protect her daughter from the horror that has entered their lives. The seriousness of the charges against Michelle caused me to pause for breath, but not for a moment do I falter in my support of Michelle. While recognizing the evil, manipulative man that was Fotis Doulos and the tragedy that has befallen Jennifer, her children, her parents, and her friends, I pray they may find strength, peace, and comfort on their unspeakably painful journey. I also pray that over time, Michelle can be recognized as yet another one of Fotis's many victims. I appreciate your thoughtful consideration of my experience with the Michelle that I know when you determine her sentence. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to call on Elizabeth Van Loon, please.
Judge Randolph, my name is Elizabeth Van Loon. I have been invited here today to speak on behalf of my friend, Michelle Troconis. I have known Michelle and her family since 2019. Michelle has been attending my church, where I've been a member for almost 40 years. And over the past 5 years, this is the Michelle I have come to know and deeply respect. And I believe her true character is not as it has been portrayed in the news media. Dedicated mother. Michelle is a deeply loving and dedicated mother. Her daughter, as you have heard, is a competitive downhill ski racer at the international level and trains in both North and South America. Michelle has described to me how she spends hours each day online going over school lessons with her daughter so she can continue her education while training. Michelle is the mother who can inspire a competitive child, remaining emotionally close when they are physically distant. Loving. Michelle's love encompasses all of her family. Her parents and sisters attend my church whenever they are in Connecticut. One holiday, and I do believe it was Christmas, the entire family came to worship. Parents, sisters, brothers-in-laws, nephews, and her daughter. The family, when dispersed, is in constant contact via text and Facebook, so they can share the pictures, joys, and sorrows of their daily lives. Michelle maintains an excellent relationship with her ex-husband in Argentina and was delighted when he remarried and had a son with his new wife. Michelle shared with me joyfully a picture of her daughter with her new baby brother. Compassionate. Michelle's love extends to all who are in need, both human and animal. While in Connecticut, Michelle volunteered for horses who've been abused and now live on a rescue farm. She came to church regularly to bake cookies for the local police department and other first responders. And as you have heard, she's helped to cook delicious meals, which our church delivers to the soup kitchen, Loaves and Fishes in Hartford. And closest to my heart, Michelle is a model for caring. She has shown me how to love and care for a family that is geographically dispersed. My daughter serves overseas with the United States military, and her family is stationed with her. I have 4 young grandchildren, and I'm able to visit with them infrequently. Michelle is always asking about my family, particularly my grandchildren, and I'm always happy to share their pictures with her. Michelle inspires me to know that love does not fade with long distance, and that parents, children, and grandchildren can remain close when they are apart. And I am deeply grateful for having Michelle in my life and providing this example. Faithful. I see that Michelle embodies the Christian spirit. As Jesus commanded, she loves God and her neighbors with a tender and open arms. And I do pray that God's love embraces the family of Jennifer, particularly her children, as they must navigate their lives without her. And I ask you, as the sentencing judge, to show compassion and mercy to Michelle Troconis. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Michelle's sister, Daniela, to speak, please. Daniela Troconis.
Your Honor, Kevin Randolph. My name is Daniela, and I'm Michelle's sister. We're only 2 years apart, which has made our relationship very close since childhood. Michi isn't just my sister. She's my best friend, my big sister, my role model, the maid of honor at my wedding 20 years ago, and a significant inspiration in my life. Her character shines through a devoted mother, a caring daughter, a loving sister, the godmother of my son, and the most dedicated aunt to my children. Michi's remarkable courage and selflessness were vividly displayed during a trip to the Amazon in Venezuela. While with a group of friends, I found myself trapped by rapidly rising waters in a river. Michi quickly organized our friends into a human chain, and her calmness and quick thinking saved me from being swept away by the current into a dangerous waterfall. It was her strong arms that pulled me to safety, a testament to her instincts to protect me and save me that day. Michi has always been my biggest supporter. When I started my own business back in 2013, she helped me transform my dream into a reality. She worked day and night without asking for anything in return. All she wanted was to help my business grow. She passionately guided me and coached me on how to launch my idea. I am blessed to have her by my side. Despite her legal challenges over the past 5 years, she remains there for me, offering me advice for me, my children, when needed. Michi's unwavering dedication to helping those in need has inspired me. Michi has always dedicated herself to impacting many lives positively, even during these difficult times. She prioritized her daughter's education and athletic training. Also, she was very involved in community service, such as preparing meals for the poor at the Avon Church in Connecticut and suggesting to me to donate shoe covers to hospitals during COVID's shortage. This reflects her compassion and generosity. My sister and my role model is cherished by all who know her. I sympathize with the Dulos children are going through. I feel immense sadness because I met the children when we spent Christmas together in 2017. My own kids are the same ages as the eldest twins, and it breaks my heart to think of their loss. I treasure the memories of that beautiful Christmas we shared together. The trial has taught all of us that Fotis Doulos, the man we met and thought was a good man and worthy of my sister, was not what he portrayed to us. We all feel lied to. We all feel betrayed. Your Honor, I implore you to have mercy. Michi's life mission has always been to dedicate to service to others. The Michi I know could never harm or assist in harming another human being. I am begging you to consider Michelle's many positive contributions to the community and her family throughout her life. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'd like to call on Eleanor Howard, please. You can go right ahead.
Hello, Judge Randolph. My name is Eleanor Howard. First, I offer to the family and friends of Jennifer Farber-Dulos my deepest condolences. I'm here to say how I know Michelle Troconis. We've been friends since September 2019, when I met her in church. I was never concerned about being with her. I did wonder if others might be, but I was taught in church to welcome all, no matter where they were on their life's journey. Michelle is one of the kindest women I know. She always asked, how was I doing? She helped me this year by sending me a thoughtful list of places to see in South America. She gave me confidence to travel there. At her home, she showed hospitality to my husband and I over dinner. Her unfailing warmth in greeting me brought me happiness. She introduced me to her family and friends, who are now my friends. Michelle always found ways to help at church. She helped videotape an outdoor worship service, the first one after COVID lockdown in June 2020. It took kindness to want to help during COVID, even outdoors and socially distanced. She attended church coffees, a drop-in gathering of friends, and she brightened the meetings with her interest in everyone. It was always better when she was there. On a Valentine's Day, Michelle gave everyone in church a box she'd made filled with chocolates. She had mugs made with our church logo. It was extraordinary to me. Coming to church to give to us, I just thought it would have been the other way around. And all she asked of being in church was to worship and pray. At the church's crowded social hours following Sunday services, Michelle was friendly. It may be scary for anyone, any newcomer to join in, but Michelle never hesitated. She was comfortable with all of us getting to know her. I visited a horse rescue organization where she volunteered to take care of horses. It's hard for me sometimes to go to new places, but I knew if Michelle was there, it would be okay. I saw her help her daughter with homework, connecting online. She's a loving and gentle mother. She told me that when she was about 10 years old, she went with her father, the physician, to a remote Amazon region to help people. She described it as a perfectly normal thing to do, but I was amazed by her generosity in caring for people in need. And I will close with this. During a Bible study group 5 years ago, it was hard for Michelle to fully understand English. In a big group with everyone talking, this weakness was not evident. But in that small Bible study, discussion focused on each of us in turn, and we were each put on the spot. She didn't understand some of the questions put to her in English, and her responses in English were not always smooth. I know Michelle has been found guilty, but to me, she's a friend and a trusted and valued community participant. She made positive differences in my life. She showed me things a generous person could be, who a valued member of my community is, and how easy it is to share kindness. She never gave me a reason to doubt her sincerity. I feel the Michelle I know is the real Michelle. And I ask that you please show mercy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to call on Herbert Smith, please, to speak.
Your Honor, thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of my sister-in-law, Michelle Troconis. My name is Herbert King, and I'm here to share my personal experiences with Michelle and to ask for your compassion and leniency in her sentencing. Michelle is an extraordinary person who has a significant positive impact on my life and the lives of many others I know. She welcomed me into her family with open arms, becoming the sister that I never had. Michelle's support and acceptance were vital to my relationship with her sister Daniela, my wife. We admire Michelle's core values of love, compassion, and caring for others so much that we named her the godmother of one of our children. Michelle has shown to me what it truly means to be a parent and to provide unconditional love to a child. She put her own dreams on hold to support and care for her daughter, embodying selflessness in every sense of the word. She taught me the importance of putting one's personal life on hold to meet those needs of others. Michelle's free spirit, her creativity, her openness, and inclusiveness of others are qualities that I deeply admire. She has taught me that true fulfillment comes from sharing and giving to others, not from material possessions. I look up to her, I admire her, and I'm incredibly thankful to have her in my life. Anyone who knows Michelle, as I do, would consider themselves blessed. Throughout this ordeal, Michelle has maintained her dignity and humility. Despite being under intense public scrutiny and facing numerous challenges, she has continued to contribute positively to the community through her volunteer work and supporting her church. Her strength and resiliency are truly admirable. Michelle is selfless. She's always putting others first. She loves life and she enjoys sharing her life experience with others. She instills humility, and she has taught my sons the real happiness comes from hard work and giving opportunities to others. She helps us get through the hardest of days with just a simple smile, and she serves as a role model to many in our family. Her ability to give to so much to others is just extraordinary. Your Honor, as a family, we place our hope in the court and respectfully request mercy and your judgment. The Michelle that I know is not the type of person who would harm anyone or conspire to do so. She always gives back. She never takes, and she makes a positive impact wherever she goes. Your Honor, I humbly ask you to consider the profound impact that she's had on her family, on me, and in the community, and that you show compassion during her sentencing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Call on Wendy Isco, please. She stepped out, so then in that case, I would ask that cut. Oh. Here she is. I'm sorry. Mrs. Coe.
Good afternoon, Judge Randolph. My name is Wendy Iskov. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to share with you today some of the personal experiences with the defendant, Michelle Troconis. I realize the court has found her guilty of the tragic crime set before her, and I'm here with the hope that I might shed some light on the character and personality of Michelle, with the intent of revealing to you what I know of her as a compassionate woman, mother, and friend. In 2019, she attended our church for a period of 5 to 6 months when she was under house arrest and required to stay within the limits of the community. While at the church, I participated with her in several volunteer service ministries there, of which you've heard of today. For example, preparing food for the homeless population in Hartford. As well, together, we created cards for housebound and hospitalized members of the church. She was always willing and eager to lend her time and talent to these volunteer activities. We knew we could count on her whenever and wherever she was needed. Perhaps the greatest offering of herself came in the form of her offer to coach my daughter for free in an equine therapy setting. Michelle and I talked of her own experiences working with children and adults in these types of programs and the improvement they brought to the quality of their lives. We were actively in the process of trying to find a horse facility where this might happen on a regular basis at that time. However, regrettably, we were unable to find that within our community. Had she had the opportunity to work with my daughter would have greatly benefited from being under Michelle's kind and gentle tutelage, as well as being the recipient of her skillful knowledge of horses and equine therapy. Every interaction I had with Michelle revealed her to be an intelligent, authentically caring and compassionate person and mother who talked lovingly of her own daughter and family, one who cared deeply for all the children of God. It is my hope that you will take into consideration when sentencing her with who this nonviolent, caring woman is and how she has displayed such personal courage, integrity, and calm as she endures this verdict upon her life. Indeed, we are all aware that no one should ever have to suffer the horrific loss that Jennifer Farber's family and friends has had to endure these past 5 years. It is with sincere respect for their painful journeys that I pray for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call on Michelle's sister, Maricela.
Your Honor, Judge Randolph, I appreciate you taking the time to hear my stories about who Michi is to me and what she represents in my life. I am the third of 4 siblings. Our parents got divorced when I was 7, but they did an outstanding job of preserving a parenting relationship to raise us with unity and solidarity. And here they are, together for us. Growing up, I've always looked up to Michi because she's the kind of person who stands up for those who need help and teaches by doing. Imagine all that my big sister taught me, from reading bedtime stories to playing in the park, riding bicycles and horses, roller skating, water skiing, and making sand castles, to role modeling what a good mother is. Yes, she taught me all the skills I needed to be the mother I am today for my twins by showing how devoted, lovely, and caring she is to my niece, my goddaughter. When I was a kid, if any of us, or even when my school friends were having a tough time, Michi was there, wiping our tears and making sure we did not feel alone, but loved and protected. By doing this, I learned how important it is to care for others and to build strength and resilience in life. She has always stood up for me and my sisters. I tried to do the same for my youngest sister. This is how we pass our hearts to one another in my family. One of my fondest memories is when Michelle learned and mastered her driving. She would take us to school, turning those rides into lessons on social awareness and kindness. Our school was across town, requiring us to cross several very poor neighborhoods. She colored those rides by describing to us how the poor were in hunger and in need, so that we thought twice when we did not want to eat our lunch. We would often prepare an extra sandwich to share with less privileged children along the way, instilling in us a lifelong commitment to empathy. Now, because of Michi's influence, my everyday job is to place myself in the shoes of the American consumers to serve and improve their lives. When I was accepted into university with a scholarship but lacked transportation, Michi gifted me her car. Thanks to her, I was able to pursue my dreams of a higher education. This made a significant difference in my life, and I learned about generosity. My heart has been heavy with sorrow for the last 5 years, and I have lived in deep pain every day. My thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected as we endure this hardship. In these moments of profound loss, the strength and unity of a family become precious. Judge, I beg with all my heart and spirit for your openness to a different view and mercy for Michelle. She has always been there for us. Her genuine heart treats everyone with so much love. She keeps our large family connected, ensuring we stay close to preserve family traditions. She's also an amazing aunt to my twin boys, encouraging their dreams of playing sports professionally with her incredible belief that no challenge is too big to overcome. As you can see, Michi means so much to me and has always been a pillar of light, strength, and hope in my life. She is the heart of our family, and without her, our lives would be profoundly broken. Thank you for your consideration, Judge Randolph.
Thank you. Attorney